All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Excited to be on here today. We're going to be breaking down and going live in the futures market. I want to show you some live market breakdown. The NASDAQ went up actually yesterday about almost 3%. Remember, it was the close of a quarter, so this is second quarter. There's rumors or the president saying that we might be out of Iran, which pushed it, but there were a lot of shorts that were in the market as well. And so let's go ahead and get to it. Let's actually go ahead and check the market. And as we're doing this, we want to look at some market structure. We want to get some understanding. This is your first time watching me. My name is Coach Brian. I am the founder of an organization called Kingdom Day Traders. Our mission to reach 1 million people, teaching people the skills of day trading so that you can live life on purpose and build God's kingdom. We are unapologetic about that. We want to be able to make a difference. So let me go ahead and pull the charts up. We're going to zoom in. I'm going to start breaking down what we're seeing. Let me just kind of update these banners so we won't have so much stuff moving all over the place. And we're going to be doing this on a demo account. Also, let me just kind of minimize this right here. And I want to go to the NASDAQ. Yep. Why do we want to go to the NASDAQ? The NASDAQ 100 is the top 100 non-financial companies in the United States. We're going to be going to a higher time frame. And the reason that we want to do this is as scalpers or anybody that's looking to get in and out of the market, we want to be able to look at market structure. So I'm going to go to a higher time frame first. I want to start with the daily. And let me just show you what happened from the previous day and where we're at today. And what we're wanting to establish is we want to see what is our trend, understanding the trend, but overall the market structures and the moves is going to be able to help us out. So I'm going to put a line right out here. And this was yesterday's high. And then this was yesterday's low. Okay. And currently we're sitting right out here. You guys tracking? Now, right next to it, right, I want to zoom in a little bit so that you can see this. There's a candle formation where institutions are buying and selling. And it's so very, very important for us to pay attention to what that formation is. And so just track with me a little bit. We want to be able to see where the sellers are coming in the market. So I'm going to mark out this area right around here. Okay. So what I've done so far is I'm seeing some candle formations and I'm looking at the market structure. And the structure is showing me that we could have some potential resistance right around this area. And I'm going to mark this out too, because it's very, very important for us to mark it out. Just looking at our charts and just kind of having a perspective across the board. So if you guys see it, we have two set of numbers. It's not an entry point, but it is showing that the institutions did like to sell at that level. And let me show you what I mean by it. Let's change that to a black color. All right, awesome. So let's zoom in here. And as we zoom in, we're going to see that first it was a buyers that came in. They pushed it up. Sellers pushed it back. Head fake, and then it dropped and took out this low. You guys see what I'm talking about? It took out this candle. And then it started to sales to come to the top. Now, the question is that if we're in sales, right, and the markets are selling, how long will it be selling? And do we want to chase the candle? So we know yesterday, it just looked like you could not go wrong. If you just got into a long position, it was just going up and up and up. But the question is there going to be any type of reversal that can happen? And so we want to be able to zoom in this area because us being able to zoom into the area will allow us to get a little bit better perspective. So that is on the daily time frame. Now I'm going to go to the 4-hour time frame. And the reason I want to go to the 4-hour time frame, it's going to give me more details. And if you look at what's going on right now, it looks like we have a W pattern forming. Now, I always tell new traders, listen, every single day, the markets speak and it shows and it has repeatable things that happen time in and time out. And one of the repeatable things that you start to see is W patterns and M patterns. But our job as traders is to find where the institutions are moving. So do me a favor, if you're with me right now, go ahead and give me a 7 in the chat. Just put a 7 in the chat if you're with me. We're streaming this on LinkedIn. We're doing this on YouTube. We're doing this on Facebook. And then later, I'm going to do some stuff on TikTok Live, which I get a lot of people that start talking back and forth. So as we're looking as traders, we also have to understand this question, right? We have to wait for institutional structure. And in the institutional structure, we're going to see that the institutions really can't hide their positions. They showcase it to us, but we have to be aware of what we're looking at. So let me just move this out the way. There we go. So look at where the arrow's pointing right now. And we're seeing in this particular area, I'm going to put this in blue, that there was a lot of consolidation. And if you're taking some notes, what you'll find out is every time you see consolidation, what is around the corner is a breakout. Every single time. So if I'm looking at consolidation, I want to see where's the breakout happening. But again, I don't have a magic ball on this stuff. I have to look at it and say, hey, I see what's going on. Does that make sense? So as we're looking at this, watch this. As we're looking at this, what's going to start making sense after a while is we start to see that the institutions are coming back to areas. Now, there's some tools that we can use to really give us a gauge of what's going on. So what we're looking right now is a scalper, somebody that wants to get in and out of the market, is I'm looking at the overall structure, and I want to see, is the market going to retest this area? And if it does, is it going to defend it, or is this going to be a place that it's going to be some selling going on? So watch this. We're going to zoom into this one candle right here. And as we look at this one candle, we want to be able to see, are we running out of buying pressure? Now, look adjacent to the candle. And what this shows us on the 4-hour is we've actually ran into a sell zone. Now, it's going to make sense when I put all of this stuff together. But as traders, we don't want to be guessing, man. We want to see where the institutions are buying, when they're selling. And I haven't even brought out the other tools. Do me a 7 if you're getting some value today. And then also I want to invite you, if you guys are in the Dallas area, we're going to start having some live classes, North Dallas. So that's Plano, McKinney, Prosper, Frisco, Allen, surrounding areas. Even if you want to come up from Richardson or just drive up. But we're going to be doing it at our new headquarters location, okay? So now look at it. This is a 4-hour time frame. We're now zooming in. And so now we're kind of in the area where we want to find our positions, right? We want to find out if we're scalping, which makes the most sense. So I want you to kind of look at this, and I want to ask the question, does it look like the market is trending up, trending down, or sideways? That's the big question. Now, also, if you look at this box right out here, these are where the sellers are, right? And so as I'm looking at this box, right, I want to kind of zoom out. And what I'm looking for now is market structure. And so remember this line right out here when I first started, this blue line was the line that we showed what was the high and low of yesterday. And clearly, we are above this blue line. Does that make sense? We're above it, right? And then we have a sell area that's to my left over here. Guess what? We're starting to get above that. So on the short term, it looks like the market wants to go up. Now, that's not enough to say, hey, it just wants to go up. We need to see why it wants to go up, or what could be a reason for it. Now, one thing we do have to pay attention to, and so watch what I'm doing right now. I'm going to a very low time frame, and I'm zooming in to get more information. If you're watching me right now, type in the number 3, right? You want to get three confluences, 3 things that say, you know what you're seeing is actually making some sense. So let's zoom and see what that looks like. Now, as you're looking at this, I don't know if you guys can see, but we have a big red candle there, sellers. We've got another red candle here, sellers. And we have one forming here as well, sellers. Now, notice I don't have anything on my chart. That's not enough. We've got to get some more information. Do me a favor. If you want to be able to, learn how to do this and actually get some structure, just type in structure as well, because this is going to be so key, using the right tools. So one tool that I want to use right now is going to be the volume profile. And I'm going to put that on the chart because it lets me see where the volume is in the market. And guys, I don't know if you noticed, we're at this big area right around here, and there's another big one, but this is called a high value node, HVN, right? And so I use this because institutions can see the buying and selling going in the market. Does that make sense? So if I see the buying and selling going in the market, and noticing that we kind of have this W pattern forming right now, is this going to be the place that price might want to defend and go to the upside? So watch this. We're getting a little bit of movement. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm going to put on one more tool as well. I just want to throw on the VWAP, volume weighted average price. And we're right at the place that we're breaking above the VWAP. And so look at it, right? I'm feeling a little bit confident. Let's go out there and just put in one contract. We're going to have proper risk reward ratios. Remember, if we're scalping, we're looking to grab a minimum of 10 points, a minimum of 10 points. And guys, I don't know if you can see that. Boy, we just got into this trade. Can y'all see it? Let me kind of zoom in. And we're up $150. And guess what? We just had to take profit. Wow. That was quick. Anybody type a 10 if you saw that, right? We just got into the trade. And I'm talking about in seconds, it grabbed us some money. Now, does it happen like that all the time? Absolutely not. But it happened today. We can put some strategy in place. Watch this. We can see this morning, let me just show it to you, that we were able to grab a $290 profit. Go ahead and look at that. Now, listen, I can't give you advice on what to do because this is seen as educational purposes only. But notice what happened. We just caught the momentum. Now, people reach out and say, listen, man, I want to be able to learn how to do this. I want to, make a couple of dollars a day. Guess what, folks? It's possible if you know what you're looking at. And so let's look at a different trade and let's see what's going on. Does that make some sense? So we did this on NASDAQ. Now, of course, we're live right now, but just imagine 15 minutes went by. And I just say 15 minutes because would you agree that trading is very emotional? Say that with me, right? So it can be very emotional to get in and out of the markets. It can get very emotional when you win and you've got that euphoric feeling and then you want to be able to win some more. So guess what I'm going to do right now, right? I'm going to go to a different market because in the futures market, which I love to teach, you can trade futures. You can trade equities. You can trade metals. You can trade oil. You can trade gold. So let's look at gold right now. And let's find out what's happening with gold. And look at that, folks. You can't make this stuff up. Bear with me. We're about to have a good time. We are about to have a good time. You know what? Let me do this quickly. Let's go to NVIDIA because people know about NVIDIA. Let me just take this stuff off. And I'm going to walk you through on how to find a good price on NVIDIA. And we got a lot of people that like the idea of maybe you want to trade options. And so here's what's beautiful. When you understand who's moving the market, who's moving your cheese, right? You can find trades in the stock market, the futures market, crypto market, Forex market. So we're looking at NVIDIA right now. So the first thing that I want to be able to show you is let's look at the average true range, meaning on average, how much does NVIDIA move per day? And I don't know if you guys can see this gray box. Let me make myself a little bit smaller. You guys see that? So right at the bottom, on average, the average true range, meaning on average, this stock, it moves an average of $5.58, average. Now, why is that important? If you're going to be trading, wouldn't it make sense to know what is the gauge of what you can make for that particular day? Yeah. So track with me. We're going to go out here and look to the left, okay? And if you see what happened, there's a gap in the market. Do you see this? Now, when you see gaps in the markets, gaps happen because of imbalance. It could be a news report. Something can happen that shifts it. But I want you to think about whenever you see gaps in the market, you need to get very, very excited because gaps in the market tell you that the market is going to go back. So watch this. I'm going to put some yellow circles just so it sticks out to you. And what if I told you that gaps will get filled in 99.5% of the time? I've seen it happen so many times. I've taken over 10,000 plus trades. And when I see gaps, I think of money. Did you hear what I just said, right? I see the gaps. I'm like, okay, good. So what I'm going to show you is you're going to see these gaps. There's an indicator called no gap candle, and it fills it in because it helps your eyes see where the turning points are. So look at how clean that is. So watch this play. Notice this candle is right out here, but the gap was to the left. I'm going to mark out this area because this area is telling me that there was a major imbalance in the market. Are you guys tracking with me? Now, the question is, right, is price going to return back to that area? We don't know if it's going to go today. We would like it, but let's say it does, right? Let's just see what this move potentially could be, right? We'll take the ruler out. We'll go to this side of the candle up here, and potentially that could be $1.96 move. Now, does that go with the average true range? Yes, because the average true range is $5.58. So that means there's a possibility and a probability that we could get in that trade and make some money. So let's just say we wanted to go long on that because we're targeting the gap. Okay, watch this. So I'm going to look at 3 time frames. I'm going to look at the 1 hour, 15, and 5 minutes. 1 hour, 15, and 5 minutes. Okay, good. I like that we're getting a little bit of a pullback. Notice if I look at this area, track with me, we have a big institutional candle. How do I know that? Because of the size. Pullback, price came up. What we want to do is get in at a good price. And the way that we do that is we mark up a nice pullback. Does that make sense? We want to get in something at a deep discount. Does that make sense? So one of the greatest things when it comes to trading is understanding and getting stuff at a discount, but then also selling at a premium. Let me just ask, you guys got to talk to me. It's quiet in here today. I'm so used to speaking live, but you know what? I'll bring the energy. Give me a 7 if you're tracking with me, because I want to show you what it looks like to find a good discount on this one. Does that make sense? So I'm going to draw this area, and we're going to use this as a potential entry on the 5 minute. Okay, here's what I'm hoping for. I want to see price come down so that we could buy it low and sell it high. Now, guys, if you're just joining, we actually had a trade that we were in seconds. We locked in $290 some. I mean, it was absolutely crazy. So watch this. I'm going to set up something called a limit order. And all that simply means is I'm going to allow price to come to me. Does that make sense? So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw out this box. Boom. I'm going to set it to go right around here. I'm going to put my stop loss right at the bottom. So if we're wrong, we just lose quickly. Does that make sense? Beautiful. Then I'm going to right click this. See if I can do this. Boom. No left click it. And we're going to create this limit order. And how many shares do I want to get? Let's say I go with 500 shares. Okay. 500 shares is me tying up $87,000. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. So we've got our stop loss in place. We want it to go. I'm going to show you what the trade looks like if it pans out. And watch the numbers show up. Okay. You guys seeing it? So we're willing to risk $650 with the chance of making $1,590. Let me just ask, would that be okay if you were able to set up a trade? You didn't have to chase the trade. You had proper risk to reward ratios. This is called a limit order. Now watch this. We're going to do a small modification. So if you look at it where it says daily ATR, that's average true range, per on a daily chart, NVIDIA moves $5.58. We are trying to catch a move from 174 to 177.88. Somebody talk to me. Give me a 7 if you're tracking with me right now. Now, why have I got you saying 7s and keep on doing it? I'm doing this because I want to see if you're engaged, right? We're waiting for institutional structure to take place. We're not chasing this. We want to get the pullback. If we can get the pullback, we can get into trade. But here's the beautiful thing about it. We only get in the game if we can get some good pricing. You guys tracking with me? Now, for a typical stop loss, you have 2 options. Option number 1 is you can do 2% of the ATR. So let's break it down. I can have a stop loss that is 12 cents. So that means if I lose quickly. Or I can have a stop loss at 56 cents. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to modify this and I'm going to bring it down 56 cents. Let's make it real easy for you. We're going to go to where our entry is. You guys see that? And I'm going to just go down 56 cents. You guys see that? That's 59. Perfect. Right there. So guess what? I actually have a better risk to reward ratio, and it even looks better now. Please let me know if you're enjoying what you're seeing right now. I love to teach this stuff, as you can tell. I think sometimes, right, we can have these classes and have some PowerPoints, and I've got some PowerPoints for you. But at the end of the day, we want to find high quality setup. So watch what happened to our risk to reward ratio. We now have it that we're willing to risk $195. So if we lose very quickly. But if we win, we can win $15.90, catching a trade that's about $1.74 move. Now track with me. I'm going to make the adjustment to this box so that you can see the risk to reward ratio. And now we have a 7-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Please tell me, is that good or good? Would you risk $100 with the chance to make 700? Somebody talk to me. So if you look at this trade, this is who this is going to be for, because I got people watching right now and you've been wanting to trade, but maybe you're having to go to work and you got to be fully engaged. And you're like, how can I trade? I can't stare at the market. Guess what? This is for you. What I'm showing you right now, right there in front of your face, is that you got the ability to set up a trade. You have the ability to set up a stop. You've got the ability to set up an entry. You've got the ability to set up a target, stop entry target. Now, what I'm showing you is being a passive participant in trading, simply meaning that I'm only in the trade if it comes to me. Does that make sense? So if it doesn't hit my entry point, then I just didn't enter the trade. But what's powerful about that is that if I can set this up, just imagine you got to be at the office by 8 o'clock. You could have went beforehand, set up this trade, and literally get a notification at the end of the day, like, listen, it worked or it didn't. How awesome is that? And that's the power of knowing what it is to set up the charts and scalp it in a way that's going to work. So let me just do this quickly because we got some new people on here. I just want to show this to you guys as well. If you're just now tuning in, we literally had a trade that lasted seconds. Let me show it to you. We set it up. We locked in $290. Look at the timestamp. $290. We were out by 9:15 in the morning. Now, let me just ask, if you could make $290 passively, would that be awesome or awesome? Let me blow your mind a little bit. If you could do that 10 times a month with an additional possible, not guaranteeing it to you, an additional $3,000, be awesome. That's who this stuff is for. So let me do a little bit of teaching, right? Because we've kind of set up the trade, and I want to kind of break down a lot of things that you don't know. And so one of the things that people really need to understand when it comes to the markets is that the banks are operating at a level that you don't know. What if I told you that Goldman Sachs won 93% of the time in a decade? So let me pull this up to the stage. And one of the big takeaways, and this is why I love talking about institutional trading, is banks know something that you don't know. And if you dare to do this game, it makes sense for you to be able to understand it completely. Does that make sense? I'm talking about a full understanding of how banks are moving, right? And so let's go ahead and go there. Here's the uncomfortable truth about retail trading. You guys ready? Is that 70% of retail traders lose money every single quarter. And the reason is that they're approaching the markets, but they don't understand that the market is structured. It's not random. And the retail traders are not the competition. It's the big banks. It's our job to understand what the banks are doing and then to be able to trade in a fashion to mirror what the banks are doing. And the way that happens is for us to understand what they do and the type of moves that they make. Come on, I'm starting to have a good time. So there's two worlds in the market, and you've got to be able to understand what world are you in. Look at retail side. The retail side reacts to news. You know how many people that I talk to that say, listen, man, I was up 2,000 and now I lost 4,000 for the day. In the retail side, we can be very reactive. We can be very emotional. A lot of retail traders are following indicators, MACD, RSI, patterns that lag price. But guess what? The greatest the greatest indicator is price action. Been able to see market structure and then taking that market structure in a way that just starts to make sense. Trading with emotions, no structural edge. So let's go to the right side. And I'm not going to do the full PowerPoint today, but institutions create the news. They know exactly where they want to be, and they know how they can manipulate the markets to get what they want. They read something called order flow. We talk about this. And then also they can see where every stop is in the market. They trade structure and they're winning 93% of the time. So why did I just want to take time just to explain this? Is because we have to understand if the institutions are winning at that level, what can I do to win at that level? And so I want to just go to the far right over there. And in this is actually giving so much salt, so much Alfredo, right? You're getting the good sauce. What do they do, right? Institutions use order flow analysis. If you don't know what that means, you need to. Institutions use real-time liquidity data. They can see what's going on inside of the candles. Systemic or systematic frameworks, no emotion or guessing. And then lastly, market structure. So I'm going to do this right quick, right? Because I don't want to just get you guys with the PowerPoint all day long, but I just wanted to show you that there's a system in place and we need to be able to understand that system. And so watch this. I'm going to flip the camera back and we're going to go back to the chart. Now, when I show you something, please do not be afraid. But this is what's actually happening. This is what's happening inside of the candles that you don't see on a day-to-day basis. Track with me. We're going to look at something called footprint. Institutions use this all the time. They can see exactly when orders are coming in and out of the market. Just bear with me. I wish I was on my big computer, but you know what? This will still make sense to you guys. Now I'm going to zoom in, and as I zoom in, we're going to be able to see exactly what's going on. And just imagine this is like a 3D field. You guys see that? So watch this. On this one candle, this is the 30-minute, there's over 81,000 in value. Now notice where it says delta, right? Delta is the buy orders minus the sell orders. And so a green delta tells me that the institutions are liking the price they're winning right now. Now, we don't just make decisions just based on that. We want to kind of zoom in a little bit and really see, are we running into areas where the buyers are starting to dominate? So now look at it. You've got buy orders and sell orders. Again, when we talk about institutional order flow footprint, institutions use this because they're testing price to see, should we push it up or should we have some type of rejection? This is information that you have to know if you want to play the long game. Folks, I want to put it out there. If you're local and this is something that you want to be able to learn, I want to invite you to come and lock in a seat. We're going to talk to people that are serious about trading and want to learn the skill. Now, look at what I'm showing you right now, right? We're seeing the ins and out of the charts, but then also I can go back to the regular side, and that's what retail traders are seeing. So they don't even have that edge like the institutions do. And so one of the things that we want to be able to change is we want to be able to have our edge where we're not buying at the wrong time or selling at the wrong time. That's the key takeaway. So I'm going to go ahead and close here. If you enjoyed yourself today, make sure that you send a message to us. It's always good to connect. Again, we're going to start doing this on a regular basis. Again, if you've got any type of value, make sure that you go ahead and share it with everybody. But we're looking for serious traders who want to be able to make this and really start to take on the idea of having additional streams of income. Short-term supplemental income, long-term build wealth. Let's have that conversation. Seats are limited. Make sure you apply. My link is in the bio. Okay. God bless you guys. Thank you so much. Cheers.